We are live, Jody Williams. We're back.
Good morning,
We're back
Ryan. Espey, how are we doing?
We're doing
Everybody in
good,
the chat,
man.
how are y'all doing?
Thank you all for joining us. I know there's a bunch of live stuff going on right now, so we're happy that you're here. Jody,
we love
where
our
do you
fans.
want to start?
We love our fans.
Of course. Where is Jay Clean? That's what I want to know.
Wow, what happened with Jay Clean?
I don't know. He's not here yet.
Where's Billy Berg and the rest of the early risers? But hey, we still got Dan Woodley.
We sure do. We sure
Street
do.
level arm wrestling, freeze. We got all the regular cast of characters. So, do you want to just before we get to the main event, which is the East versus West? Do you have another? Do you have a soapbox edition of WAF and IFA?
No, there has been no developments as far as I can tell, other than just there are some splits going on in other countries, like Sweden.
Yeah.
Now apparently has a separate organization for attending WAF.
So they were WAF like everybody else, and then when the split happened, they went IFA. Then they went back to WAF.
Sorta. Half of them did.
Wow.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah. And Dan Woodley, I like that comment you just put out there. And I guess we could just segue into what we're going to talk about, East versus West finals. There's some good things, some bad things, and some what the fuck things. So here's the thing. And I want everyone's opinion. Ryan, everybody in the chat, everyone's opinion. You know, yes, Carl Stanley, I didn't see you there yesterday. Maybe you were there, maybe you weren't. But here's my thing, okay? We talked about this a few weeks ago, and the whole purpose of the last chance, qualifier. And from what I gather is that we as in Team West want to send our best over there, okay? And some people were saying because we got annihilated, we got swept in the last East versus West. Here's my thing. Couple things. One, we had a bad weekend, or actually we just had a bad day. I don't want people to bail on the guys we got now because I like the studs we got now. It's a mixture of we got some seasoned veterans. It's a mixture of we got some young studs that go against their young studs, and we just had a bad day. I don't want everybody just bailing and jumping off the bandwagon. Well, we need these guys now. We need this guy. Guys, it happens, right? It happens. But
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I think we already are sending our best. So to say that the whole idea of this is to send our best, that for me, that's not the purpose of this event. It's to give a path for the guys whose phone isn't ringing to get into East versus West. And it doesn't become, who is head and shoulders above everyone else. It's about matchmaking for Engen.
Right.
Now, yeah, I get it when they say that as an excuse. We're trying to send our best. But it comes down to a little bit of integrity and a little bit of just telling the truth. If you have to qualify to get to this event and you're spending money to go and do that and go through the process of getting there, there shouldn't be a path for someone to just show up and pay the fee, because I don't know what the fee is. But if the fee, it's probably a lot less than, I'll use Matt Mask, for example. He might have gone to Toronto anyway, but the fee to just fly to Virginia and enter the event is probably going to be less than a plane ticket, hotel, and his lodging for the weekend, or his food for the weekend. Like it's going to be different. And you put it on the same weekend as Michigan State. So you send like Carl Stanley, not there, for example. Paul Passmore goes and wins Michigan State.
And he got to meet Dan Severn, by the way.
Yeah. So we got Rick Heidebrecht winning the right arm in the super heavyweight. Rick is a great arm wrestler. He's a bit of an unknown. He's a Canadian. He's a great, great arm wrestler. Where were the Wayne Withers, the Paul Passmores, the who am I missing?
Well, Wayne just recently came off surgery, so I think he pulled his first event back since surgery. So But again, and here's another portion to that comment I had, and I don't know if you want to say soapbox, but how many qualifiers did North America have? Like 6,
I don't
including
know.
Canada.
We had 2 in Canada.
And we had like 4 or something like that, 4 or 5. I went to one of them. And you mean to tell me if you're going to have, and like I said, I'm not knocking the guys for doing it, but sometimes you got to take a step back and realize if you're wanting certain people to show up at these last chance qualifiers just so they can go, you mean to tell me of the 6 we had in North America, they couldn't go to any one of them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what though? The other thing is if we know who those people are. So let's take Paul Lynn, who has Ingen's ear. He knows he wants this guy competing at East versus West. Wouldn't that guy just get a phone call anyway?
Isn't that what RVJ did?
Like this isn't this for me. This event was supposed to be to give a path to the people that aren't those guys that are top of mind.
Right. Now, it did benefit a couple people because I know for a fact I'm glad Justin Hyatt went. And I'm glad, oh yeah, they're right on cue, GB. I'm glad Justin Hyatt went because he might do some damage.
Well, he's the guy that, like, this is the right path for him. He's the right guy to show up and win this event.
And he beat Sam Harris in the process. And I know Sam has been working, you know, his business is, you know, skyrocketing, especially during this time of year. So he's going to be real busy. So he hasn't been able to kind of compete at tournaments. That is a fact. But, you know, Justin Hyatt, he's the guy, you know, the reigning Monster Factory lightweight champion right now as we speak. And he did what he had to do. Now, we see Matt Mask, you know, him and Jerome out in the finals. And, you know, Matt won. And, of course, you know, Matt's all fired up. I'm going back to Turkey. And I'm glad. Who do you put him up with, though? That is the question.
You have the exact same problem as you had before. You just have to pick his match a little bit better. And, you know, if I'm being honest, like Jerome Loud looked really good. And if he stopped, the one time he stopped Matt's pronation, it was game over. Like there was only one path for each of those guys to beat the other guy.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room for a second as I take a sip of my, you know, I got 2 cups of coffee. That's what kind of episode this is going to be today. 2 cups of coffee, right? So let's talk about the people who bypassed and just paid extra money just to be in the.
I don't know who those guys are. Like, was Jerome Loud one of them? Did he qualify?
I think Jerome qualified. I think he qualified in the Florida region.
I mean,
but there were people who just showed up because there's a big stink about it. And I remember Kane Hemsing said, "Hey, the way this thing is going, you mean my buddy Billy Berg? All he had to do was just show up to the finals. He didn't have to sit there and go through a qualifier, pay that extra money, and then pay again. You know what I mean? Extra just to have his name in there. Because now, what does that do to the people who actually had to go to a qualifier to compete, then come to Virginia, and then you got people backdooring their way in?"
Well, and it's weird because it's they need to have realized, like Travis says, if you have common sense, if you have any common sense as a promoter, you should realize that when you do this, people are going to talk about it. Now, to say that we shouldn't be is just weird. That's odd to me because it's newsworthy that this has happened. And, you know, I don't know how I'd feel if I was a qualifier in there. But the rules, yeah, GB, yeah, the rules, you know, the rules of engagement were laid out. You go to the qualifier, you show up, you have your chance to go. And then we kind of let it slide that there was a last chance qualifier, like there might be a tournament earlier in the day. Okay, that's kind of the impression we got.
Yeah.
That too, you know, not really what everyone signed up for, but you know, if people really want in, that puts them at a bit of a disadvantage for taking that path. Well, then that gets squashed and they can just show up and pay a fee. And it's sketchy on what exactly is going on there. But
Paul Lynn just went live for the East vs. West qualifier finals review.
Well, I mean, counter programming, sure. But we our massive audience of 13 people in the chat right now is we're going to speak it how it is.
And we love all 13 of you. So
yeah. And you know what? those are great guys. I like those guys. I found it. Before we get into two more, I guess we'll close the book on this subject. But
Yeah.
I guess the question is why? Why just let people in?
It defeats the purpose, you know. Here's the thing. And then on top of that, did people who qualified, did they have to pay another fee to register too?
I have no idea. Like the information, like Billy is in the chat. Maybe he can give us shed some light on what actually happened down there, what the fee was, all that kind of stuff.
Because I'm like, you qualify, why you got to pay again? But then again, if you're talking about nationals, for example, U.S. and Canadian nationals, you pay your fee, right? Your registration fee.
Yep.
You qualify, then you go to WAF, you got to pay another one. So I guess if you went by that rule, it would make sense. Look who's in the chat. Let's go.
Oh, Terrence Operman. Sounds like an offer to me, Neil. This is the first I've heard of that. Well, okay, yeah, we'll see.
Hey, Ryan, I've never seen you caught off guard before.
He just throws that bombshell into the chat. Okay.
I've never seen Ryan like startled for that was nice. I like that.
I'll highlight it just so everyone knows what the hell I'm talking about.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Billy, what the question is I'm asking is not necessarily like you had an entry fee, which is fine, but do you know what the guys that didn't qualify paid on top just to get into the event? I'm curious about that, if it was an additional entry fee or what happened.
I heard.
And then we have this question, which we should get to at some point. And I think there's an obvious answer to this for me anyway. The fear of not coming back from Russia perhaps is one of them.
Right. Well, these different like I said, these leagues and organizations, they what they try to do is offer something for other people, which I get it. I do, you know. Don't go to Russia. Yeah. I think, you know, I don't want to be like Brittany Griner and get stuck over there for some god awful reason, you know. So
yeah, to be negotiated for.
Right. This is stupid. Come on, man. Y'all got better things to do, whatever that is. But
although it's a tempting event to go to, if only it wasn't in Russia.
Right. But no fear. We have other organizations that you can still go ahead and sink your teeth in. Isn't that right, Neil? Neil knows.
Oh, you know, you sit quietly and you don't do much for a while and you start getting offers.
Hey, you know, and it's the thing, and that's the thing, because I've asked you how many times, when are we going to see Ryan back on the Arm War stage, you know? And just joking, you and I was like, hey, when are we going to see you on the stage again? And we kind of joke, and you would love to. I mean, I know you got some stuff lined up down the road. I don't know if they're 100%, you know, committed yet, but I know you got some stuff coming up. So it's all timing.
I got 3 offers right now, and they're about, all 3 of them are roughly 2 weeks between each of them.
Ooh, okay.
Which would be perfect, I think.
Maybe this is a conversation you and Neil need to have off the air.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how we do that. But yeah, East versus West. I just don't want people to bail on Team West. That's all. It seemed like, and yeah, my jaw hit the ground when the night was over. I'm like going, did we just lose every damn match? But it's the way we lost. You take away Devin and Pauline's match, every one of us lost 3-0. But again, it's all matchups. I guarantee you, if you ran those back again, it would be a little different. But that doesn't mean that we need to just upload the guys we got now and go looking for some new people. That's not what I'm saying. And I hope people don't think that way, because the fact that we just had a bad day. That's all there is to it. You know?
It's going to be a little bit less about our absolute best versus their absolute best. Because if you just make the matches that way, right now, we're not competitive. And that's a fact.
But who do
Maybe
you? I guess.
Gary Caderet, like he and Devin.
Mhm.
But aside from a few of them, I mean, you got to take guys that are just a slight tier down. Like you take, like RVJ made a good show of it.
There are people,
Yeah.
like you said, where are the Wayne Withers and the, Carl Stanley couldn't make it. Paul Passmore was at Michigan State. I think Withers pulled somewhere else. But you go, okay, well, do we have to go deep into the bag of tricks as far as the supers go? What about Ryan Espey? And by the way, Neil wants to know how is both your arms, by the way.
They're solid, Neil. They're good.
There you go. But then again, where's Ryan Espey in all this? Where does Tim Bresson fall in all this?
It's just me or has Chance Shaw been awfully quiet lately too?
Very quiet. Very quiet. But you see what I'm saying? That's just from the super heavyweight standpoint, you know? But yes, again, what happened this past weekend benefited Dustin Hyatt because he should be that guy. He's kicking some ass and stuff like that,
This is going to be an ebb and flow like we're all so worried about right now. But I think that it's going to sway back and forth on who is dominating. And that's just kind of how it goes. Jay Clean is here. He didn't realize we started early.
Sorry, Jay.
I knew it. And then we have, as pointed out in the chat, RVJ versus Krasimir next time. And I think that's a very, especially with Krasimir's new philosophy, I think that RVJ probably wins that match.
But the thing is, though, Ryan, and I hate, going back to this, but it's just our thinking. Because when Borzinski came up, his first match, 1-3-0, nobody said nothing. Doug Erlich smacked Coach Ray 3-0, nobody said nothing. Paul Lynn's been kicking ass, nobody said nothing. Right? Okay. Yeah. So our young studs are putting in the work, and yet all of a sudden we lay an egg, and all of a sudden everybody's just ready to fucking hop off the bandwagon and, oh, well, we need this person, we need that person. We don't really need, we don't. And I'm not saying people who went there this past weekend don't deserve it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it just seemed like because of one bad weekend, a lot of people just want to say, well, we need better people now. Why? It happens.
Yeah.
Does that mean when Devin beat Prudnick said, fuck it? I mean, we haven't seen him since, It happens.
He'll be back.
Lose the match, it happens.
We wrote him off. But writing off Prudnick just shows that you don't know the sport.
Right. I mean? You don't write people off. Now, granted, I'm still waiting on Alex Kradecka to get back into it at some point.
Yeah. Where is
there's
he?
That. Let's see who else. I mean, Derek Smith went to 2 East versus West. He lost. Ain't seen him since on that level. Dave Chafee lately hasn't been doing great. At least East versus West anyway. But he still gets the call. So again, a lot of it is just matchups. It's not how many times you win or lose. It's just matchups because I haven't seen Jonathan Breida since East versus West 1. Haven't seen Herman Stevens since East versus West 1. Todd Hutchins has been kind of quiet, laying low because I know he's preparing for John Brzezinski in August. You know what I mean? So that depends on how you look at it,
And Jay says, isn't Derek in the next East versus West? I think he is.
Yeah. He's
Derek goes there anyway because they use him a lot for commentary and stuff, but he's probably got a match.
He does. I forgot to do
it's sometimes the way you lose. I understand that completely. And then Wierzinski pointed out here, it's pointed out that he might have the brightest future of Westerns under 100 kilograms. I would say that Dustin Hyatt probably has that title of having the brightest future of all lighter pullers from North America at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you tried Corey Miller, didn't work out. Hasn't been back since. But like I said, a lot of this is all Engen's decisions. I think we kind of forget about that.
Yeah. But he is not ready for the heavy hitting. Okay. Well, let's see what Neil has to say here. Craig Sanders. That's a good match.
Ooh.
That's a good test for him.
Yes. And for those who don't know Craig Sanders, seasoned veteran, but don't let that fool you. He can get in there. He can burn. He can get inside and burn. So
And
I'm
then they
telling you,
announced an East versus East match. Mindaugas Terrasitis versus Giannis.
that brings eyes to the set, in my opinion, because we haven't seen Giannis in what? How long? You know,
It's been a minute.
I
Hey, what is
saw.
this? Okay, go on. I'm just looking at Billy's thing.
He's retiring after the loss this weekend. You know, is he saying that because he's emotional or what?
Yeah, we'll give him 24 hours and see what happens. But he hasn't been around for a long time anyway.
Right.
Any chance, and Chance Shaw pulls next time, right? I don't know.
I don't know if he has an opponent. I'm not sure.
So why do you think the Americans don't support AMC, Jody?
Is it a Russian thing?
I would say so. Can't imagine.
Well, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good to watch. But I think as far as Americans, you know, we have other stuff we can do. We have, like I said before, we have for those elite pullers, because I am not an elite. For you elite guys, that would be you, Ryan. East versus West, you know, king of the table. We got stuff like that because there's no more Moldova, right? So there's that. We can throw that out the window. And for the people one tier down or so, you got the Monster Factory. You got Arm Wars. Although Arm Wars is probably, they take anybody. And when I say anybody, they take people that, what makes an interesting match? You know, that's what Arm Wars does. I guess you can throw an arm guys if you wanted to, you know. There are people out there that I know who's promoters and organizers that kind of go, this one strikes, you know, how about we put this guy and that guy and see what happens? You know, that's all you got to do, you know?
Yeah.
Why is that, Neil?
The guys going to Russia and doing well, yes, but when tensions were low, I would go to Russia too, but not at the moment.
Yeah. Hey, highlight that one that Neil said, because I didn't realize that, you know, so sneaky move by the Jedi, turns down the Terrasitis match in Arm Wars like 5 times, but agrees to face him in East versus West so he doesn't potentially lose his Arm Wars title. I thought we're here to compete. We're here to compete, man. Not hold on titles and all that kind of stuff. You got to earn them, right?
See, Dan Woodley, I know exactly what this means. I'm not sure if a lot of people will. Jody, do you get the reference?
No.
It's like it was almost like a feeder organization for Pride, the Pride Fighting Championships, but they focused on light and light guys and up and coming guys.
Well, I'll be darned. There you go. You know, that's interesting though. I'm still drilling that comment that Neil said. Like, that's just a matchup of like, yes, we're talking two guys, pound for pound, the smartest guys in the sport going at it. And it's all about sheer, you know, outthinking your opponent. Aside, honestly, you can throw the strength for these two. I'm talking about Giannis and Terrasitis. You can throw the strength thing out for a second. These guys are so cerebral that who can outsmart the other one? But I didn't realize that that was a match that they've been trying to put together, and it just, you know, for whatever reason, didn't happen. And now all of a sudden, voila, it does.
Yeah.
What's the pay difference between Arm Wars and East versus West? That could explain everything.
There's only three
I cannot answer that question.
There's only 3 people to ask. Engen and the 2 guys in the match.
Yep.
And Neil, of course, on the other side of it.
Yeah. But you know what? Neil has something cooking. You know he always does, right?
Yeah.
You know he always does.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, folks.
What else do you want to... Oh, we didn't talk about the actual matches at all. We were going to talk about Matt Mask and Jerome Loud.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit, but I mean...
They met in the finals, right?
Yeah. And then it was a best out of 3 for the final.
Yes.
Which I like.
I liked it to the point where, it was good that Jerome Lau got some shine, because you got an awesome puller in Jerome. Doesn't have any kind of social media following. So to see him on that stage.
A few years ago, we were talking about him being kind of the next big thing, the up-and-comer. And then he kind of faded away a little bit, but he was light.
Right.
Neil's wanting me to give him an answer right now, I think.
Come on, Ryan. What's up, dude?
You know how this goes, Neil. I got to start negotiations in my own house before I start them with you.
Hey, I know how that goes. I know exactly how that goes. So, but yeah, with Matt Mask, it's like, I'm glad he's found he always had that kind of mean streak at the table that he's not scared to,
Here's what I wanted to touch on. Did Travis seem like he was getting annoyed with Matt?
Oh, in the finals? Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Tell him to calm down, kind of grabbed him.
Well, I guess it was more like, after a win, Matt smacks the table, that kind of stuff. I get it, but I guess one of them, like the strap was on. He kind of like, yeah, he's fired up. And dude, don't forget that you're still strapped up to your opponent. And I get that, but I don't know. It was just the whole thing was weird. The Wi-Fi wasn't great. And I didn't realize till like the day of. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess they are doing a pay-per-view for the finals.
Was BLM at this event?
Yes.
How did he do?
He lost to Jerome Lau. That's the only match I saw of him. I'm not sure where he finished at. However, I do have some results. I think they were posted earlier in the chat, but I know Dustin Hyatt won both arms in the 170 class. Artem Taranenko won both arms in the 200-pound class. Matt Mask won the right-hand 242s. Robbie Topi won the left-hand 242s.
I heard nobody touched Robbie.
Well, I mean, when he's a motivated Robbie, he's a dangerous Robbie. So Heidebrecht won the right hand, and Nick Stone won the lefts in the supers.
And who the hell is Nick Stone?
A big dude that, he's one of those guys where it's like he comes out of nowhere and you kind of do a double take. Like, that's a massive dude, and he's strong, farm strong. He kind of reminds me of a Nick Zena type.
Yeah, I know who he is now.
Yeah.
Jay Clean says, I thought Robbie retired. Well, he kind
of did. That for a minute.
He retired from super heavyweight arm wrestling and was about to hang it up, and all of a sudden here he is back, but he's in the 242.
Hey, good for him.
Maybe he hangs around that class and does something there. I'm curious to see who they're going to match him up against, because he's going to be in East versus West now.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dan Woodley says, I'm thinking he's talking about BLM lost to Jerome and Matt. So
okay, well, I mean, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to the top 2 guys in the class.
Exactly.
And no shame in that, I guess.
Right. Well, you retire. Nah, I changed my mind. I'm gonna come back. But I'm gonna come back in a weight class down. So,
well, Robbie was already heading there. He didn't like how he felt at super heavyweight, so he was he had to go through a lot to get that weight on. And then when he pulled Michael Todd left-handed and took that loss, I was supposed to pull Robbie a little while later, and he backed out of the match because he didn't think he had anything for me.
Well, shit, I pulled him that summer.
Yeah.
At my event, and it was like, I'm thinking he's getting back down to 230 something. So I'm thinking, all right, closer to my weight. Nope. And I was like, oh, okay. So he came in a lot bigger. I'm thinking, all right. And there's no secret. He got me 3-0. I'm thinking, wow, all right. He never dropped down to 230 like I thought he would. But nonetheless, though, I mean, good for him. I'm glad he went out there and turned some heads, and hopefully he'll get the call,
Here's a good question.
The question, though. At what point does England call these guys? Don't have these qualifiers and finals and stuff, and then you kind of drag your feet on that.
I assume sometime in the next few months. I mean, they have to start scheduling them because the assumption I think is that this is going to be an annual kind of qualifying process. But that's a good question. Who do you put Matt Mask up against if you had to pick that match right now?
Ooh, is he asking you?
He's asking in general.
Let's see here. How would Matt do against Tobias?
Man,
Sonny Gay's in the house. What's up, Sonny?
Tobias. I think you got to go a tier below.
Because the easy question would be a match that does not need to take place over in Turkey. I've been saying it for a long time. It needs to happen, but you can't put West versus West. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's got to be Matt's eye focus is on the Turkey event.
Yeah.
So who do you pick?
That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, everyone's saying a tier lower just so we can kind of get his, bearings. I'd say, but again, this doesn't need to happen over there. I say, fuck it. What you should do, honestly, that August tournament that Magnus putting together, right? The same event that has John Brzenk versus Todd Hutchins. Why not put Matt Mask versus Derek Smith there?
Man, that's an awesome match.
Because that's if you're talking about Derek needs to pull somebody a tier down, Matt Mask needs to pull somebody a tier down. That's a perfect thing, but you don't want to have two North American guys go all the way to Turkey just to have that match where they can have it right there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess you need to decide first, is Matt going to stay in the lighter weight class or is he going to pull supers?
Matt needs to stay in the lighter one. So what would be that? What, the 105?
Yeah, I don't even know what the class is over there anymore, but I mean,
it's I know Unger has the 105 title, I believe, and the next one up is Devin's, but Devin kind of just bounces around between that weight class, the 253 or whatever, and then the supers too. He kind of bounces around like that.
Right now he's bouncing up, but it's I don't know, a 250-pound guy against Matt Mask. I don't even know who you pick over there, man. Tobias may be a good choice.
Is would a in shape Unger Bayev destroy Matt, even though Matt has that height and long arm and low hand top roll? The only problem is that Matt needs to realize if you're going to go over there to Turkey, you got to have a plan B. You can't go there with this, I'm a low hand top roll, control everybody. That doesn't always work. If Matt had a hook, oh, he'd be awesome, because everyone knows that Matt's going to low hand top roll. So it's like, okay, fine, I'll slip out of it. Do your thing. When I get to the straps, I got you. Come to me now. They're going to come like this. And then when Matt low hand top roll, he gets turned in like that. Now he's, y'all see this? He's like, oh, wait. He's like out like that in a strap.
Yeah, is Matt still pulling Sergey extreme arm? Because Sergey is a killer, man. Like, I don't like that match for Matt.
What's the weight of Sonov?
Oh, he's probably around that 250 mark, but isn't he pulling Devin right away as well at that Magda event?
I believe so.
I think Devin's going to get that one.
Yep, he's just too. Here's Billy Berg, Canada versus USA. Hey, Billy, you want to chime in on that? Canada versus USA.
Tell us about your event, Billy, or your potential event.
International
coming
war.
Up.
International war. I know a few things that, hey, this might knock people's socks off. That I do know.
I also told Sergey this is a mismatch. And what did Sergey respond? Because Matt didn't give us any new looks at this event he was just at. In fact, he got caught. Like, I don't think it was, I'd consider it a blowout in his part. I think Jerome gave him a little bit of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And there was that one position where Jerome pinned Matt.
But where he pinned him, he also elbow fouled, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which the whole debacle of elbow fouls continues because it's that weird thing where where do you draw the line on what is and what is not a foul?
I don't know. Yeah, that's yeah.
And Neil, I agree with you. It's Sergey can be strong in every position.
Yeah, you're right.
But the problem with Matt is he is a huge name in North American arm wrestling. Win or lose, he can post a picture or a video of himself doing everyday stuff and get 15,000 hits on it. It's
the guy can mow his lawn and got all kind of likes and views and stuff,
Yeah.
That's just the way it is,
So, I mean, that's the problem. You got to give Matt somebody that's, worthy of the name, but similar in strength.
Well, how about Ryan Espey? How come you haven't got a call yet?
Oh, man. I don't know. I get plenty of
because
calls.
somebody's interested in you.
Well, there's a few people. People. And the one that I got talked to about last night is pretty interesting, but I can't talk about it yet.
Right. However, how do you think did you see the battleground that included Terrence Opperman?
Like the one that just happened?
Are we supposed to talk about that, Neil? I don't want to sit there and, because I want people to know that, hey, if you want to see that match, be sure to become a member of the Arm Wars. Not just subscribe, but become a member. And by the way, did you see the episode 1, Iron House 3 between Josh Davis and Mika? That was a good match too. If y'all didn't check it out, if y'all didn't see that. Matt Mass versus Mindaugas. Oh, I have proposed that match later. Yeah.
For the win, but it's a super heavyweight match.
That's okay. It's okay. Because you know what? Mindaugas looks normal now after what Devin did, But hey, Neil said I got the green light to talk about that. My friend, did you see the Terrence Opperman battleground matches, Ryan? Because if Neil's proposing this, you and him, I suggest you go back and watch those matches.
Are we talking about the left-handed matches or the right? Was there a right-handed battleground?
So far it's the left, but either or. That's your dominant hand anyway.
We're talking about the Devin one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course I watched that.
What was your what's up, Brian? How you doing? What's your thoughts on that? Because my brain's going knock, knock, knock. Okay, Ryan, Terrence Opperman. Okay, how do you feel after watching that?
Well,
if you were to have that match in 2 months,
is a possibility. I would have to go back and look at it with a different lens.
Yeah,
I need to figure out where the holes are. I'll be looking at it from a different perspective.
Yeah. Yes, Jay Clean, we talked about it last week. However, when Neil's on and he proposes matches, we got to hit it. It's what it is, So what if by chance Neil can bring back Alex Kradeka, How would he go against Mindaugas, Doskus?
No, I don't think so.
No?
He keeps talking about it.
Dude, have I mentioned? Woo! Come on, Ryan. I mean, again, I've never seen you turn red before.
I'm already red. I'm sunburned from yesterday.
And you're blushing, by the way. I might add, you're blushing. I'm telling you, this needs to happen. And now I'm going to start my second cup of coffee right here. I'm telling you right now, it needs to happen.
Well, we'll talk. Neil, we're going to talk. So you and I are going to have a conversation. I got to figure it out. I agree with GB on this one. I think Kurdecha is too much for Mendogas.
Where's he been at lately, though?
It's a mystery. And if anyone knows, please let us know. What the hell is he doing?
Right.
You know who Matt Mask should pull?
Who?
Kamil Jablonski.
Okay.
That's a good East versus West match.
Yeah. You know what? Now I think about that, it's a different flavor, you know? It's one of those situations where styles make matchups, right?
Yeah.
So I like that. Oh, and how about Espey Opperman? What do you think about that match?
What? I like it. I like the match. I mean, geez,
Damn it, Neil. Now you got me doing it. What the hell?
You guys want an answer right now.
I like some dude named Chocolate Thunder versus Josh Davis. Interesting matchup.
It's already booked? Is that match already booked, Jody?
No. It'd be nice though, but no, it's not booked. I have no control over that kind of stuff. So
okay, here we go.
Aha. Yeah, I would have to believe that, you know. Now people are going, Benji Mack goes Mask versus Voda.
Neil, you know what's going to happen is Mask versus Dulskis is going to end up on an arm gods card.
Yeah, you know, yeah, because here's the thing. So you do that, and you know, Arm Gods is like the next Arm Gods event is in Ontario. Am I correct?
I haven't heard anything about it. I remember hearing that months ago, but I have not heard anything since.
I think it's set for September in Toronto or something like that.
Yeah, and there's a Monster Factory in September as well.
Is scheduled for September 16th. This is all I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. So, the next two Monster Factories. One, September 16th. That's a tentative date because he's doing some construction on site, making the venue a lot bigger. Hopefully, it's done by then, so we can have Monster Factory 5. Monster Factory 6 will take place December 16th. And if I'm not mistaken, the guy in the chat, Mr. Neil, you want to answer this? The next Arm Wars, I believe, is in August, if I'm correct.
We have a $5 super chat where Jay Clean is taking credit for making the Terrence Opperman match.
Oh, there we go. So make sure Jay Clean gets a credit for that. There you go. But yeah, I think those are the next events, you know. Ooh. Ooh. Davis Williams, yeah. Like the sound of that? Like the sound of that?
There you go. We might be heading back over.
He feels like you will kill Opperman. Okay, let's I wouldn't say kill quite yet, because if you watch that match with Christensen, right? I like that. If you watch that Terrence match with Christensen, if you really watch that, it's more like, the last two. Now, we all know from a mathematical standpoint, you get your 4 wins, you win, but you still got 2 more matches. And I don't think Christensen was taking it easy. I think he was trying to 6-0 Terrence. Didn't work out that way. I think Terrence got his bearings and was like, okay, I got this. And that kind of rolled into his match with Dulskis.
Arm Wars, Thursday, August 10th to Tuesday, August 15th.
Nice. My wife's birthday. The 15th, by the way.
That is exactly 2 weeks before the other event that I was offered.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
Nice.
that works out pretty well.
And Neil, just for I may be jumping the gun. After the August 15th event, when is the next one? Hopefully, that would be awesome to know that one too.
Kardeccia versus Laletin. That's an interesting match, left-handed.
Yeah, because after Laletin, didn't he pull that? What was that? Was that an AMC event? He pulled. God, who was it? He pulled recently. He won like the overall, but lost the actual right hand match or something like that. Remember that?
I do remember that. I don't remember it well enough to talk about it.
Chocolate Wonder. Oh, wow. Hey, you know what? You never know. Chocolate Wonder.
Salayev. They're talking about Salayev.
Yes.
I would really like to see him compete in some of these big events as well. Billy is asking who they would like to see me pull from the States.
We talked about that, but it's just a matter of getting this going. And it doesn't, the initials do not say TB. I say KM. You got to run that one back.
Which one?
You and Cody Merritt. You got to run that one back.
Forgot to mention.
In case anybody forgot.
Yeah.
I would like to see you against Cody Merritt. But see, the thing is, though, to add other names from the States, I got to know exactly how your right hand is.
I mean, it's pretty good, man. So we'll find out here shortly. I'll be at the Nationals right away. Like we're talking.
I asked that because I would love to see you. If your right hand was as good as your left, then that would open up a lot of doors. Like you versus Chan Shaw, like you versus Wayne Withers, just to name a couple. I would love to see that matchup. But we won't know. Because there's not a lot of good, awesome left-handers in the supers in the States.
No, there's not a ton, but James Clark said, "How do you and Big Rick pair?" It's been a while. I usually do pretty well with Rick,
Mm-hmm.
but it's been a long time. And Rick is a lot lighter than he was the last time I arm wrestled him too.
Rick is like
he looked pretty lean. He used to be like a 400-pound guy.
He was looking lean and mean and like real. He reminded me of and I don't mean this to compare as in styles, but he reminded me of a Kevin Bongar, where now he lost so much weight. He looks like just intimidating.
And what was he saying to the guy in the final? I couldn't really hear it, but he was just kind of toying with him a little bit.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Jay Clean, Rick Heidelberg is a staple in Canadian arm wrestling, and just arm wrestling itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm at a point now where, you know what? I'm liking what I see. I like Rick coming back, doing this. Does he get a call? We'll see. Because who did he pull at the last Magna event last summer? Who did he pull?
He pulled Kardeccia.
Yeah, and
didn't go well.
Right. Oh, hey, check it out. Neil just came up with an idea. Hey, that yeah. I like that. What do you think about that, Ryan? That sounds like a good deal. What do you think?
That sounds like an amazing match.
Oh, I have an idea. How about this? How about hopefully maybe later this summer?
Possibly in August.
I mean, you don't have anything going on, do you? I mean, you have a lot going on. You're a busy guy.
We got lots going on in my other parts of my life, but nothing arm wrestling related.
You can
Phil Cardy, I'm excited too, Phil. I'll see you there.
You can do some real estate up in England, right?
I don't know if I can do that or not. I can try. I'll sell
Man,
the Iron House to somebody while we're there.
there. Oh, by the way, and I do believe that Iron House number 4 is going to be in London, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I think it'll be in London. Could be wrong, but I think that's the destination.
Neil, send me a message and we'll talk.
Yes, Neil. Same here. Same here. Same here. See that? You have a show. You know, we don't have all the chats like, you know, Travis and Artem's channel, but you know what? What we do get in this show, we have our group of people who always are loyal to us, and you get people who come on and do matchmaking. I love it. I love
You're
it.
steering the ship. I should put a poll in here on who. No, I can't, because I would reveal the possible matches that are coming up. But there are some very exciting ones. I'm actually yeah.
And don't forget, next month, I think, is it next month or this month, kicks off the locked and loaded qualifiers for the World Series of Arm Wrestling, by the way.
Hey, what's Operman's weight, Neil? Because my weight by nationals will be around 325, which is considerably lighter than I've been for a while. And nationals is about 3 weeks away, just so we're clear here.
Okay.
Well, 4 weeks.
I can't wait for you and Earl to meet up in the finals.
Or earlier.
Right. Well, I mean, and then I forgot, you know, that you guys have the triple elimination, right?
We do.
Yeah, so y'all can probably meet up earlier than the finals and stuff, you know. So speaking of Canadian nationals, it just dawned on me. How's Pork Chop doing?
He tweaked that bicep again. That was a while ago. Now I believe he's getting stronger, getting ready. I constantly see videos of him training and prepping and starting to pull. Yeah. I think he'll be back sooner than later. Okay. I don't know if we'll see him. I don't know if we'll see him back by nationals or if he wants to come to the nationals. Oh man, that's a big question, GB. I don't know, but he'll be back soon. I think Pork Chop's got a lot of potential, and he'll be back pulling. I hope he comes to the nationals. I will not be arm wrestling him if he comes to the nationals, because I'm testing for my master referee level on the Sunday. So I'm just pulling the masters division.
Pork Chop is like our version, United States. Our version of Pork Chop is Mega Mike. Very strong, a lot of potential, but for some reason just can't seem to shake off an injury bug.
Right.
They're like one and the same. And it's like, dang, if we can not get injured, that can be some good matches. You know what I mean? Yes.
Here's a question from GB. How has your off-table training changed since your beginnings?
Good question.
That's a great question. So in times of my career, I have done less table training and more, like there were periods where I did no table training and all in the gym, power movements. We're talking a couple reps. There's other times where I trained on the table every week. Lately, well, the past few years, it's been every other week on the table. But for the past month or so, maybe even a little bit longer than that, it has been a weekly practice, and everything in between is dedicated to recovery.
Okay.
with a little bit of power stuff in the other body parts. But my daughter's been training with me, so I've actually been doing 2-a-days. Like I do the workout I put her through for arm wrestling on top of my normal workout, on top of my cardio. So I think I'm probably in the best arm wrestling shape I've been in a long, long time.
Right.
We'll see. I'm going to say that I probably have the best endurance I've ever had, for sure. Which, the guy I was offered to pull at some point in the near future, that will be a factor.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like Terrence Opperman might want to match with me. I'm not sure.
Hey,
I'm not 100% clear on what the intention is here.
Hey, I remember not too long ago, earlier in the year, somebody else wanted to match with you. He was like doing this.
Who was that?
Remember Doskis was saying that too? He said,
yeah, Mendogas was saying that, but I mean, then he kind of went quiet about it.
Yeah, he said he felt good, and all of a sudden, Ryan,
he decided to jump right past me and jump in there with Devin Larrett.
Hey, there you go. Right now, he probably realizes that. I don't know. Maybe I should do another, 4-way battleground featuring Ryan Espey, Terrence Opperman.
Oh my God, you're evolving it now.
Doskis, Opperman, Espey, Kerdeka, battleground, whatever. Yeah, that's probably too much.
Who is Ryan confirmed pulling the Marathon Man?
Who's that?
Who the hell is the Marathon Man?
Hey, my new name is Chocolate Wonder now.
Chocolate Wonder.
Chocolate Wonder. Chocolate Wonder. There you go. Because, hey.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody. I will tell you that I will have some sort of announcement next week on what the answers are here.
Ooh, I heard answers like plural.
The plural, yeah.
Okay, I like that.
I'm gonna have to schedule a business meeting with my wife and decide what we're gonna do. In the meantime, Neil's gonna reach out to me and offer me $6 million to show up at Arm Wars.
I like
but
that.
Don't worry, I negotiate. I can meet him halfway.
I believe London, England is the place.
He mentioned London as the plan. And in closing,
hey, you got any sponsors?
Just me.
Oh, there you go. See?
Yep. Well, my man, I got to jump on to a mandatory real estate training course that I have to take in the next 4 minutes. So we want to wrap her up here.
Let's do that, everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us this morning. Now I can't wait till next week because there's going to be some announcements coming up from my partner in crime over here, Rick Martell. So,
Rick,
hey,
the model.
Yes,
Rick Martell.
I am the Tom Zink. Don't know where he just kind of fell off the map, didn't he?
Tom Zink just went away.
Yeah. So Neil Pickup, do us a favor. Get a hold of Espey at some point. You and I need to talk shop later in the week or whatnot. And we'll go from there. Everybody, enjoy your week. We will be right here. Is it regular time next week?
Regular time next week.
Regular time next week. So that way people don't miss us out. All right. So next Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
All right, buddy.
All right,
everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Take care. See you later.